Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chopping Block. I'm Frank. This is Heather. Behind the cameras, we have Tim and we have John. We'd like to thank you for coming back and watching our show again. Tonight, we got a little different show for you tonight. We're going to talk about an infamous night back in 1980, December 8th, 1980 to be exact, the night that John Lennon was shot. We are going to discuss the factors behind it, who did it, why he did it, as well as we're going to be making some burgers. We're going to be making some murder burgers, as
Why
we
is
call it.
that?
Why are they called murder burgers? Well, because he was
Yes.
murdered. That's why he was shot. But these are very special burgers.
Yes. Made out of what?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Well, he shot him in the back, so it must have been a color of the chicken. So we're going to do some
Must have
chicken
been.
burgers. Chicken murder burgers. At least that's just my take on it. I don't know. Anytime you do something from behind on somebody, it's kind of colored.
Oh, absolutely.
Chicken, so
Yeah.
and
Definitely
chicken
a
is healthy,
chicken.
and we're kind of keeping along with our little healthy theme here. Again, this is another meal you can take and make beforehand. You can have it on the grill in your own house. You can make it ahead, take it with you. Anything you really want to do. It's pretty simple.
What are we using? A nice lean, mean.
Grilling machine.
Grilling
We
machine.
are using the George Foreman Lean Mean Grilling Machine. Everybody knows that. I'm sure a lot of people have them.
So road ready.
It's
Slip
absolutely.
us in the trunk and on the way we go.
Absolutely. You can take this with you, plug it in at the hotel. You can grill your stuff there. You can have all your ingredients set and ready to go before you get there, and we can do that. In front of us, you can see we have a REM pod tonight with a little bit different. We're going to see if what we discussed tonight kicks up any activity, anything comes across it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but it's just a nice little attitude we have just to see what happens with it as we're discussing stuff.
Excellent. So should this be smoking?
It's warming up, so yeah, it'll be smoking. So yeah, it's gonna be okay. So now we can actually even go like this. There. I should let the smoke out. You can see the smoke on camera. So
Smell vision. Smell
on
that.
December 8th
Uh,
of 1980.
1980.
around December 8th, 1980, around
1980.
8:40 p.m. Mark David Chapman shot John Lennon of the Beatles. Shot him. Took 5 shots.
Where?
Where? did you-
Where? Yeah, where'd he shoot him? Where'd John Lennon get hit?
Oh, and John Lennon got hit in the back, 4 times in the back, and he missed once. How you miss from point blank range is beyond me, but he hit him 4 times in the back. Again, a cowardly act in my opinion, but that's just the way it goes.
With a .38 special revolver.
Correct. You use the 30
Power
special
points.
revolver. What?
Hollow points.
Were they all points?
They were hollow points.
I missed that. I missed that in the research. Thank you. They were all points. Very good. Nice.
Because he thought they would do the most damage.
And they obviously did because John, unfortunately, was dead on arrival when he reached Roosevelt Hospital that evening.
No.
So, little backstory on that. That afternoon, Mark had bought the Imagine album from John Lennon, and he was hanging out in front of the Dakota building. And as the story goes, that afternoon he had seen John's nanny walking with his son Sean, and when they came back, he even said hello to Sean and shook his hand and went inside. When John and Yoko came out, he stopped him, had him sign the album, and then he sat on the corner and waited for him. It's kind of an ambush.
Yeah.
They say that he got into a combat stance. He says that he doesn't remember or recall that. Regardless, he shot him in the back.
Chicken,
Chicken.
chicken.
So before we go any further, again, we're making murder burgers. Heather is going to be cutting the onions. It's the first time I'm ever giving her a knife, and I'm going to stay back, but I'm going to show her how to cut the onion quick so we can get them diced up and put them in the bowl.
Do you have like a fork?
No, you don't need a fork.
Why not?
Because you use your hands. Just
So
like
would I do
this.
that? You gonna cut all of it? I got this now.
There. And then, after you have the last slice in the middle, and then cut it down the thing. And as you're doing that, I will bring out the bowl, and I will put the chicken and the spices in the bowl. And we can discuss a little bit more. So as I said, we had him sign the album, waited outside, ambushed him.
That's just so sad.
What?
That's just so sad. I'm joking. I don't cry when I cut onions.
You weren't even around then, were you? I didn't
Nope, I was not born yet.
think so.
I'm in 1981. April Fools.
But anybody who was around will remember that day. As a matter of fact, anybody that was around will remember that they actually stopped Monday Night Football, and Howard Cosell made the announcement on national TV that night as the Monday Night Football night was going on. So it really made headline news all across the world as they were rushing into the hospital.
All fingers intact.
You have to chop them up a lot more than that.
I thought you said horizontal, and then lateral.
Chop them, make them, mince them up.
Oh, nobody said Minson.
Well, we have to do that. So, as Mark sat there and waited for him, there were a couple people that John knew that had passed through by.
These are sharp knives.
There was a photographer that had passed by from the AP of all places, because John lived at the Dakota Building, and a lot of famous people actually live at the Dakota Building. So there's a lot of press and things and that nature hanging around. He had asked the gentleman from the AP to hang around, and he did not do that. So he left. There was also another female friend, I guess, and the research says a female friend of John, that he had asked to go on a date.
Really?
Legend says, or he says, at his trial, so to speak, that had one of those two stayed around, he probably wouldn't have shot John that night, but he would have eventually got around to doing it anyway.
There were other people he was aiming to get rid of, too.
Absolutely. He was, on his list was John Lennon that night. He was planning on going to David Bowie's concert the next night. And to shoot and take David Bowie.
Did you know that he had front row seats to that concert?
Yes, I
along with Lennon and Yoko?
Yes, I did.
So David Bowie said that night he did that show, it was very hard for him because there's 3 empty seats. Can you imagine?
Yoko and obviously.
Indeed. Yep.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. Some of the people he had on that list. I can't recall most of them now, but
Ronald Reagan.
Reagan was on.
The first president's wife.
Yep. And there was
Jackie Onassis.
I see.
Yeah.
So.
Incredible.
Are you ready?
I think I am.
That's fine. That'll be good. So,
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you scoop that right into there.
Okay.
Good.
Excellent.
So, since you have done as much research as I have, tell me who was an inspirational character for this this assassination or this murder, so to
Assassination.
speak, however you wanna
Well,
say it.
I know it was based on the book Catcher in the Rye, but I don't recall the actual character. I forgot. Calhoun?
Mark thought of himself as Holden Caulfield.
Holden Caulfield.
Who actually, at one point in the book, becomes, I don't want to use the word enamored, but he thought he was a warrior for justice of fake and phony people. And Mark started out as a
Phony killer?
Mark started out as a absolute fan of the Beatles, but that kind of changed when his whole attitude kind of changed about that when John had his little controversial "We're larger than Jesus Christ." So when he set that out, kind of set few things in motion for him as to, oh, these guys are not this, they're not that.
Yeah.
And in the book, Holden Caulfield he challenges people he feels that are phony. So what ended up happening was Mark took that to the extreme and decided that these people need to be
Just because they were famous.
just because they were famous, and he felt that they were phony and not doing that kind of stuff.
From my understanding, he was very into little kids. Not like that.
No,
But he
did
was
a lot
very
of-
Christian. He did a lot of youth outreach. He did a lot of, he worked with the YMCA.
Yep. And,
All sorts of just incredible things to help kids.
Yep, he
And then
was
turns around and does this.
He used to, and I know we're talking over each other. I'm trying not to, but I'm trying not to lose my train of thought as well. So I understand that. So he, I believe it was in Decanter, Georgia, when he was living there, because that's where he was from.
Georgia.
He was a guitarist at a Christian church for that, doing that stuff. At one point, he actually moved to Hawaii. He was living in Hawaii for a little while.
Incredible.
And that's where his friend had introduced him to the book, The Catcher in the Rye. And that's where he started to
Veer south.
identify himself as, or identify himself, not shoot as, but with the Holden Caulfield character. So that's where it kind of all started when his friend introduced him to that. Now, he had planned to do this, and he had planned to do killing of, a few others as well. I'm going to have to wash my hands with this.
Well, before you go any further with
Yes.
with Mr.
Go ahead.
Chapman, explain what you are doing.
Right now, I have mixed all the chicken and the meat and the seasonings together.
What was in the seasonings?
So we had a quarter cup of breadcrumbs, a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese, a teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon or teaspoon of lemon pepper, and a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder.
Awesome. They look like cute little patties.
Yeah, it's because they're not real big, you're supposed to use half and half, but I forgot the half and half, so we used some milk to keep them together and 1 egg, which I also forgot. But you don't always have to use eggs in your hamburgers. I don't use them a lot of times as well. So, but again, as you can see, I will put them out there. These are what they look like, and they're small little patties. You can put them, you can make them as big or as small as you want.
Simple ingredients, huh?
Just simple ingredients. Have these made up. Put these in the freezer for yourself, and take them with you. Obviously, take the George Foreman with you, and you can do it that way. I am going to, can you grab that for me so I can kind of clean my hands
Oh,
up?
Lord.
Oh, that's going to help.
Oh, hold on. I forgot you have such huge hands.
So, as we take our little hiatus here, so, Mark's attorneys had decided they were going to use a insanity plea for him, but he decided that he was going to cooperate with the prosecution and give him all the information they want. Just before trial started, he decided that he told his attorneys that he wanted to plead guilty. He pled guilty to, I don't remember what it was. I believe it was murder, but I can't remember offhand. All right, but he got 20 to life. He got 20 for life, and New York State penitentiaries, New York State system. So
Now,
he
you've
is-
met this person.
I have actually met this person. Yes, I have. He started out at Greenhaven, and then he went to Attica for probably 20 years, and then he went to Wendy for about the last 10 or 12. He just transferred out. I don't know exactly where. I have to talk to a few friends of mine. They know where they went, but and you can also look it way up online and find it out. I mean, it's a lot. Everything nowadays is so easy. You just look up who you want to look up, and they'll tell you exactly where it's at.
That's true.
So he is in a maximum security facility, always will be. At the beginning of his penal career, if you want to say, he was in what's called administrative segregation, which means he was put in cells to protect him from other inmates. Now, he is not
Interesting.
isolated. There are other inmates there, but he is in his own cell. It's all protected. It's all camera. Everybody's watching what's going on.
So he can't get hurt.
Then
Theoretically.
Theoretically, he can't get hurt. I mean, theoretically, you can't get hurt, but anybody can get hurt at any point in time. But he has not. He has lasted his whole career so far without being
What
injured.
did they do to him instead?
Oh, funny you should ask. In the first 5 or 6 years, as he was getting into this, they used to walk by and sing Beatles songs to him.
No way.
Yeah. I think one of the most popular Beatles songs they used to sing was Strawberry Fields.
Strawberry fields.
Unfortunately, we were going to make a
yes.
Strawberry Fields
Salad.
to go with our burgers.
Yes.
And I'm going to quickly tell you how to make it, and then that way you guys can take that with you.
Well, it's strawberries.
Obviously, fresh strawberries. Take arugula, you cut the strawberries, put the arugula in. You can sprinkle on some feta cheese or some blue cheese, whatever you like.
Goat cheese.
Or goat cheese, whichever. Yep. And you take candied pecans and put some of them in there. And we were discussing just using regular balsamic vinegar.
Yes, but
We had a
John,
beautiful idea from John. earlier
Absolutely,
to use
suggested.
raspberry vinaigrette, and that would be fantastic.
delicious.
So we're going to actually make that one day. But today we did not do that just for the sake of time and stuff like that.
Strawberry
So
fields.
I am going to start making these up.
How long do you think these will take?
They should take about 6 to 8 minutes, about 6 to 8 minutes, give or take.
Nice.
And I did make them small so we can put them all together.
Or before you close that, show the audience.
I cannot because it's too hot to flip around.
Oh,
I would love to, but I'm not. Once they are cooked, I will
then we
put
can
them on
show
the
the
plate.
audience.
I would love to, but I'm not flipping around the plate because with my luck I will drop it, and that's not a good thing either. So, there was another thing that I wanted to get into about him, and I can't remember what it was. So what other questions for me do you have?
Well, I don't know.
Why did I know this was going to happen?
No, I just think it's fascinating. This notorious person who was a devout Christian was.
Turned and flipped just
Flipped.
because somebody said,
Yeah.
well, let me get into it.
You don't
He
ever
was a devout
really know
Christian.
what's on people's minds.
If he was a devout Christian and John had said, you know, we're bigger than Jesus Christ, that could have flipped and turned different things.
That's
Now, you gotta
exactly
ask-
what happened.
You gotta ask where I met this person.
Oh, where did you meet this
I
person?
was working in the system as an officer, and I was working in the housing unit that he was working in. I actually got to not only interact, I actually got to take him on an escort from his block to the infirmary so he could get some medical testing done.
No
before we come
kidding.
back. Yeah. So, myself personally,
You walked right next to him.
what's that?
You walked right next to him.
Yep, I walked right next to him.
Cool.
Yep, it's kind of interesting when you walk past someone who thought he was that famous to do stuff.
Is he short? Is he tall?
He's probably about this tall. You know, he lost a lot of weight as compared to some of the pictures you see on the internet from when he was there. He was a really big fat dude.
Yeah.
Now he's a real skinny dude.
Not real something.
You know, and it's kind of a chatterbox. He wants to talk, and you know, I let him say his thing and talk, and then he said something, and I just said, yeah, I'm just really not interested. Just keep walking. We just kept walking, and that was it. He never said nothing to me again.
So you didn't sing him songs?
No, I didn't sing him songs. I don't.
No Strawberry Fields?
No Strawberry Fields. No.
Lucy in the Sky?
No Lucy in the Sky. No. Yellow Submarine.
Aw.
None of that. Although I did think about it, but I'm like,
Roommate's got you covered apparently, huh?
yeah, they sure did. The question I was going to ask him, I was going to ask just for confirmation, didn't they really sing those songs to you when you first had it? But I was like, you know what? I'll go with the legend of the room where I really don't really care. I don't
I
really care
mean,
to talk to him. And
You
it's
know
just-
cons if it passes the time.
Well, there's no doubt. They
Yeah,
will
it's
do
certainly
whatever
entertainment.
is necessary to do. But again, going back to that night, he had him sign an autograph. John and Yoko went to the studio. I believe it was a Double Fantasy that they were recording at the time. I could be wrong, so don't
Right.
quote me on that.
And they ran
you're watching-
home just for one
No,
reason.
they were done. It was about 10 o'clock at night.
Right,
So they were done.
They were running home to tuck their child in.
Well, yes, because they had finished. So they were run home to see Sean to get him before he went to bed.
Yeah.
And you know what ended up happening? He called him out, and he shot him in the back 5 times. Well, shot 5 times, hit him 4 times.
Yeah.
The irony of the whole situation was, after he shot him, he didn't run. He didn't.
Oh no.
No, he sat down on the curb and started reading Catcher in the Rye. As a matter of fact, at his trial,
Read a
he
chapter.
he quoted chapter 27, I believe, of parts of the Catcher in the Rye as to what it was. It was God's will for him to shoot Lennon, for him to have this list to shoot these people and to kill because they were all Sonys.
Jeez.
So let's take a look at what we got here.
Ooh. How do you know when they're done?
They're about 6 to 8 minutes. We got a little bit more time to go. Usually, sometimes this light will turn green when it's done.
It tells you for you?
What's that?
It tells you for you?
Sometimes. I just haven't used it in a while, so I don't really know if it's working. So we're going to flip them over in a minute here. Matter of fact, I'm
Excellent.
going to flip them right now. I'm using my handy dandy little flipper.
Ooh, look at that. They smell delicious.
Again, you can make these as burgers. You can make them as meatballs and put them in your sauce. You can make them however you want to make them and use them however you want to do. You can use chicken, you can use lean ground beef, you can use regular ground beef, you can use the combination of pork, veal, and beef that a lot of people use for meatloaf and things like that.
Ew,
So whatever you want to use, you can use to make these burgers, and the recipe is very easy. And again, once we're all done, said and done, all of these recipes we do will all be online. You'll be able to take them, print them out, do what you need to do with them, and try them out yourself. We are actually going to be heading somewhere very soon in the near future, and we are going to put two of these together and take them with us because from what I understand, there's not a lot of good places to eat in the place we're going. So that's fine. But the good thing is, we can make ourselves up.
You know how to cook?
We know how to cook.
He knows how to
Ourselves up some of our own concoctions and take it with us, and it'll be
Excellent.
very good. So, again, Mark he was sentenced for 20 years to life. He's been up for parole 21 times and rejected.
21?
21 times. The last recent one was 2022.
Ooh.
He's been rejected.
Wow.
The first, from what I've understand, from what I've been told, the first eight times that he was up for parole, Yoko would show up personally
Oh, wow.
and make sure that he didn't get out. After that, she either sent a representative or a handwritten letter saying, you know, my family feels threatened, blah, blah, blah. So he is yet to be out. I do know there's a couple little tidbits that were floating around in the system wire here. So part of the rumor was that they were going to parole him, and they
Oh,
were
no
going
kidding.
to, they were going to let him out. So the facility that he was at didn't want that on their reputation, so they're like, get him out of here. So
Right.
they got him out of there and sent him to a different facility. So it's kind of a stigma. The facilities don't want to be the one
That let him
that
go?
let him go.
Oh,
Basically.
goodness.
So there's a stigma, and that's, from what I understand, the last
Wow.
facility sent him to packing because of the same thing. They were afraid that was going to happen.
And then
They don't
something
want
else
that
would happen?
Right.
Ooh.
They don't want that stigma as to
Right.
we were the one that let Lennon's killer go.
Goodness.
Which I can understand because that's, you know, that struck a lot of heartstrings and a lot of chords.
For such a heinous crime that had no logic to it.
Right, exactly. And it's unfortunate that a book such as
Catcher in the Rye.
had something to do with that. So, as you said now, I couldn't do it before, but these are what they look like as
Look
they
at
come out. George Foreman.
those. Yum
Nice and warm, and I'm going to put the rest of these on here so we can get them done.
Excellent.
There we go.
Those are pretty little patties.
Right. So,
Yes.
tidy up a little bit here.
Okay.
Pretty little chicken patties.
Correct. So anybody who's interested can look all this information up online. I know a lot of people have. It's a shame because one of the great musicians of our generation at our time got
Yeah.
cut too short. He
Way
was
too
very
short.
controversial in what he did. In my research, I had read too, and I had seen some articles and some interviews too, that him and Paul had actually made up and were not completely, but they were discussing
Right.
their differences and getting ready to, you know, bury the hatchet, so to speak, and that kind of stuff. And all indications were that conversation had taken place a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it was like a week before this all happened. And again, they were
What a
all
shame.
planning on getting together, at least to have a talk and hang out, not so much to do music, but at least to straighten out their business and make sure everything was good. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and it is what it is. Little side
What a
note
shame.
about that. The song Hey Jude
Yeah.
was written by Paul McCartney, but do you know who it's for?
No?
Hey Jude is written for John's son, Julian.
Really?
Sure is.
Aww.
It was written for John's son, Julian.
Wow.
Yes. It's Julian is John's first son. Sean is his son with Yoko. So there's difference. Julian was on tour, I believe, for a little while with Ringo and his All-Star Band for a little bit.
Excellent.
But you haven't heard much. And he also put out his own singles album back in the 80s too. So check that out. He looks and sounds just like John. Looks and
Really?
sounds just like John. So it's a sad thing that happened, but again, you know, there's a lot of history. History is not always happy.
No, it's not.
Some history is dark.
Yes.
We are actually going to be stepping into a lot of dark history with people like Chapman and areas and locations that we get to do and things like that.
Yeah.
What else do you have? What else did you come up when you were looking at that?
I think we covered it all from what I read.
From what you read?
From what you sent me.
Anything? That's weird. From what I read, from what you said. Oh, so so now you know how this works. I do the
You did
research.
some
I send it to
phenomenal
her, she
research.
does it, and that is awesome. So anyway, Chapman is still locked up.
He's
He has
still
not-
locked up.
He has not been
That's-
paroled. I do not know the
Jeez.
facility he is at.
Yeah.
He will be doing life.
I think it's fascinating, though, you got to meet this person.
Yes, it was fascinating. It was interesting. Again, as a professional in that career, you don't get awestruck and stuff like that. And I wouldn't get awestruck at somebody like that to begin with. because that's not
Right.
something
No.
you
No.
But there are people that do get awestruck at serial killers.
Meeting
and
serial
things like that,
killers.
and they become, they become stuck
Oh,
with it.
that's odd to me. That's odd.
That
Oh,
is,
that's to me.
it's kind of morbid.
I really
It's kind of morbid when you think about it, that you would actually fantasize and become.
guess you love that.
Yeah, exactly. They get all crazy about that, but he was, by all accounts, a model inmate, decent, never gave any trouble, not a problem.
He
didn't
was a
cause
Christian
trouble.
after all.
Well, he was, yeah, but and he said
Not to say anything against Christians, just
no, but he was.
the divergence in going from someone who
extreme to
cares
another.
about others and then killing somebody for
and-
illogical reasons.
Mental issues is what they said to it a little bit. Even in his trial, he had some mental issues. What I said,
Yeah.
on the stand, he was quoting Holden Caulfield and quoting Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah.
he didn't want. There was never a trial. 'Cause
Yeah.
He didn't want a trial. He pled out. So that's why he got what he got. So it was like.
And he never did it to be famous from.
Oh yes, he did. He
Right.
wanted his 15 minutes of fame. That's
He-
part of the reason why he did it. Absolutely.
But he was more about killing fame than
Right. He was.
getting rid of the phony
Correct.
famous people who are more famous than Jesus and
Right.
something to that effect.
Yes, he definitely wanted to. He definitely wanted to rid the world of phonies,
Yeah.
and that's why he started with John, and
He had his
move on to some of the other ones.
list of others.
Let's.
So, do those go on buns?
Oh, yes, we have some mustard, and we have some buns that we will put these on. Thank you for pointing that out. Appreciate it. Listen, I get wrapped up in some of the stuff I'm talking about, so yeah, I forget exactly every little step of. Listen, all I know is I'm going to eat them, so it really doesn't matter how it's going to get there. And I know we're all going to eat them. So
I did my part today. I cut the onions. I've accomplished
You should, and you should.
without slicing my finger too badly.
No, exactly. So yeah, we thank you for watching. We are going to. What is our next show going to be like?
Ooh, it's gonna be awesome.
Explain to our
Well,
watchers what it's going to be like.
we've got. We're gonna talk about a little bit of organized crime.
And where? From where?
From where?
Yes.
Oh, from the region, from the area, from Lockport.
From Lockport, from
Stay tuned.
Buffalo,
Follow
from the whole area,
from the whole area.
right?
Look at those little pegs.
And that's what they look
That
like. on the bun.
is awesome. Little murder burger.
Little
Murder
murder
burgers. Can't even say it.
Little chicken murder
Chicken murder burgers.
for a cowardly act. that these